to today's newspaper headlines, it seems that it's the end of the road for motoring presenter Jeremy Clarkson, as the announcement came later.
And said that it's with deep regret the decision had been taken not to renew him.
Plenty of sunshine through today with seasonal temperatures. We should reach our normal high of about 82 degrees by this afternoon.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see your obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Think I can make it now, the pain is gone.
Flowers. 'Cause, and now look what we have here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113,
He was born. He was born in 1836, and he was fired by Car Magazine, fired by Autocar Magazine, fired by Scotland on Sunday, and somehow he managed to get fired by a Volvo dealership. Probably for driving too slowly. Ladies and gentlemen, James Bay!
Thank you, you're very kind. And, ladies and gentlemen, you probably can't see him from the back, but I assure you, he is here. He was fired by Radio York, fired by Radio Leeds, and fired by Radio Lancashire. It's Richard Hammond!
Hello! Hello! Thank you! Thank you! And, ladies and gentlemen, over here, he's basically a shaved ape in a shirt. And he technically is the only one of us never to be fired by anyone. It's Jeremy Clarkson!
Thank you so much. Anyway, we are all car journalists, and we have spent the last 20 years...
being fired?
Yes. But we have poured everything we know, everything we care about, into this show. Everything. And coming up now is a small montage of what you can expect over the next 12 weeks. Are we ready, gentlemen?
Honestly, I don't know.
Is that the size of the drop, or what's happened to his...
You're looking at magnificence.
Help! This is bad! James says we've got to stop for fuel.
I hate you!
He doesn't like it. Bloody Nora.
Maybe leaking slightly.
What a moron.
You sank my limousine!
I've lost one of my nose tampons! This is not a particularly cultural thing to do.
I don't like the smell of tyre smoke in the evening. Oi! Get back in!
James! It's falling fire! Sideways in linen! There's no dignity in that, is there?
No.
To the first ever Grand Tour. Tonight couldn't be more car-y if it tried. And I'm going to prove that point because we're kicking off with this. Yes, I agree. The thing is, though, various supercar makers have now taken the sort of polar bear friendly technology from a Prius, and they're now using it to create raw, naked speed. Now, I say the best of these hybrid hypercars is the mad swivel-eyed McLaren P1. Whereas Richard Hammond, who's wrong...
I'm not wrong.
He is, because he says the best is actually the rather boring Porsche 918.
It's not boring.
Yes, it is.
It isn't. It isn't. But whatever, we decided to meet up with the cars and settle this once and for all.
Get a bloody move on. The location we chose for this titanic duel was Portugal. Specifically, the international racetrack of the Algarve. When we arrived, mechanics from Porsche and McLaren pounced on our cars, fettling them for what was to come. Soon, the McLaren and the Porsche were ready for some shakedown laps. And for these, we decided we'd drive each other's cars.
Straight away, I can tell you that this doesn't have the brutality or the savagery of the McLaren. Because it has rear-wheel steering and four-wheel drive, it feels planted, it feels secure and safe. And that gives you the confidence to play about. This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Jesus.
This is frightening. That's what it is. Go, go, go. frightening. That's what it is. Watch this. Are you ready? This is frightening. That's what it is. Right there. This is frightening. That's what it is. This bit is really scary. This is dangerous because of you. This really is. we go.
That's what it is.
It is mighty. I shall be victorious. Now this bit is really scary.
This is frightening. That's what it is. Jesus.
Hang on.
Bad, bad, naughty car!
Right, watch this.
Bad, bad, naughty car! Jesus. This recalibrates your mind. I didn't think anything could be as exciting as that Porsche, but this is what a car. I love it.
Well,
This is rubbish.
I was just thinking exactly the same about this.
Were you?
This was boring me to death. It was like being stuck in a Victorian woman's novel.
Well, I'd rather that than being stuck in a telephone box with a panicking gorilla.
Rubbish.
It was trying to kill me.
I
It was
know,
trying to hurt me. It wants to hurt me.
Oh, that's why I like it.
Razor blade in the hands of a surgeon, sickle in the hands of a drunk peasant.
Schooner of sherry, absinthe.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I am here because, gentlemen, I have in the back of that lorry something that will make your McLaren and your Porsche look like lumps of yesteryear. Remember the last time a car, or indeed any sort of thing, gave me a fizz like the Ferrari. Oh, I shouldn't feel so good, but it does.
James was obviously talking nonsense, but there's no getting around the fact that these three cars take automotive science to a new level. They use the latest green technology to squeeze as much speed as possible from every molecule of fuel. As a result, they're all capable of blasting way past 200 miles an hour whilst producing fewer harmful emissions than a family saloon. What we have here, then, are three incredible machines which, at a stroke, have made the traditional supercar look wooden and old-fashioned. Welcome, everyone, to the Hypercar Holy Trinity.
Oh, I feel dirty. I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Looking good.
I was very brave. Nice. That makes it better.
Drive carefully.
Skillful work. It's incredible. I'm dead.
don't like this.
It is quite scary through here. Yes, brilliant noise. Come on! Yes, yes. Look at that for a tidy line. Very exciting.
We could have played out there all day, but before we ended up in a £3 million crash, we decided to start the tests to see which of the cars was best. I came up with the first one, mainly to annoy gatecrasher May.
Let's make the first test a drag race using electrical power only.
Good idea.
No, it isn't a good idea.
Why not?
Because you can't drive the Ferrari on electrical power only.
No!
No, but look, of course you can't, because it's a Kerr system like a Formula One car. It's got a V12 engine and an electric motor, but they're all integrated. They work together all of the time. You can't separate them.
You should have thought about that, shouldn't you?
Bad planning.
With James reduced to the role of onlooker, we lined up the P1 and the 918 on the start line. But then, instead of revving the petrol engines, we shut them down.
3, 2, 1. We're off.
Who won that? It was me, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's not important though, is it?
Is it not?
No, it's just not relevant.
Right, right. In a drag race, it's irrelevant which car gets there first.
Yeah, yours is the better milk float.
Back in the pits, Hammond had an idea for the next test.
We've got to drive to the hotel, yeah, haven't we?
Yeah.
It's about an hour away, and it gives us a chance to see what they're like on the road.
That's a good point.
Real world.
That is a good point.
I can't do that. I can't drive the Ferrari on the road.
Why?
Well, it's not registered.
It is, got number plates.
No, that's just pretend number plates. If they register it, it becomes second-hand and they have to pay the tax. That's why it came in a lorry.
So you can't drive it on the road either?
Nobody can drive it. It's not road legal yet.
Oh, no.
Mate, that's...
Oh, that is such a shame.
It's an hour of...
Oh, sorry, James. That's really a rotten bit of luck, because you've come a long way from Italy.
Soon, Richard and I were enjoying the world's best ever commute.
Go, go, go. Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, you ready?
to do this. Damn him. Problem. Oh no. Give me everything you've got. Go, go, go. Oh my God. It is mighty. Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, bloody hell. You're all right. You're all right in Italian. Oh, God.
Sorry to have to say this, but that Ferrari is useless.
Yes. Later on in part 2, when these two have stopped dreaming up idiotic and irrelevant tests that it can't take part in, we shall see.
We've got to tell everyone about our track. Yes, we have one. This is the sort of place where you can drive cars at speeds that you can do on the road, but only if you want to go to prison afterwards.
What, like 38 miles an hour?
Well, 39, maybe even 40 from time to time. Now, we were hoping that we could bring it round the world with us, like the tent, but unfortunately it's too heavy. And as you're about to see, too bitey. This is it. It's not a race circuit. It's not an airfield. It's not a road. What it is brilliant and fast and extremely dangerous. It even looks dangerous on a map Because as you can see, it's the exact same shape as the Ebola virus. Right, time now to show you what a lap looks like. And to do that, we've got a bit of a performance benchmark, a Ferrari 488. Take it away. Take it away. First up, it's the isn't straight, so-called because it isn't straight. After the second right on the isn't straight, we're into your name here corner. If you make a mistake, there's no runoff area, it's just woods. We've called this section Old Lady's House because it's right next to a house where an old lady lives. Get this 90 left right, or you'll crash into a cage full of electricity. And you'll need to get the final 90 left right as well, or you'll run into a field of sheep. So, trees, animals, a house, electricity, and because it's in England, usually quite a lot of moisture in the air. It really is the most dangerous track anywhere in the world. The car I've selected for my first lap of the Ebola Drome is this. The BMW M2.
Everywhere else, it is better. Oh, less heavy, less cumbersome. They got back onto the isn't and unleashed 365 rampaging horsepowers from the turbocharged 3-litre straight six. Flat out, yeah? This is very good news.
This track was designed to trip cars up. There are fast corners, slow corners, drifty corners, and bumps. It's hard on the tyres, it's hard on the brakes, it's hard on the engine. It's point and squirt and bark and yelp. It is vicious.
But there is nothing here which has flummoxed the M2. This thing is an absolute masterpiece. Like I said, it is the best M car BMW's ever made.
You may think it's mad to suggest the cheapest M car is the best, but look at it this way. This track is a lot cheaper than Silverstone, and I know which one I'd rather drive round.
Let me get this right. At our track,
Yeah.
there's trees, animals, moisture, electricity, a house, and an unexploded bomb.
Yeah. Like I said, it's the most dangerous track in the world. Honestly, it makes Imola look like a duvet.
Yeah.
It really, honestly, does. It
Anyway,
does.
all the cars that we test at the Ebola Drome will do a timed lap. And to make sure it's a completely level playing field, they will all be driven by the same racing driver.
Yeah.
Clever. Nobody thought about this. It gave us some thought.
How clever is that? Now, thing is, Amazon, insisted that the racing driver in question should be from this side of the pond. So we went to something called NASCAR. and we found one, and we shipped him to England, and then we introduced him to the complicated procedure which involves turning right. He's called Mike Skinner, but we know him simply as the American. Right, there he is, looking utterly bewildered.
A skitter of a wheel spin, and immediately he's onto the isn't straight. Straight into your lane here. Okay, coming up to Old Lady's house. No turbo lag at all as he hammers down the bumpy back straight towards substation. One more 90 left to go through field of sheep.
Now, to make sure that the M2 wasn't on sort of the lap board all by itself, we got the American to put some other benchmark cars, well, we call them benchmark cars, he calls them communist, around the track to see what's what. There they all are. Look. Now it's time to see where the M2 goes on that board. Let's have a look. Let's put it on. Oh.
Wow! I think it's the best M car they've ever made. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, look.
I prefer it to all the others that are quicker than it.
It's
definitely the one you should have if you want one that's slower than all the other M cars.
It's better. It's only it's quicker than a Civic.
Yeah. Slower than... If you had a choice of M cars, if you lined them all up and said, I'd like the fastest, it wouldn't be that one.
Shut up.
Better in every single way.
Stop saying
you said that.
I don't care what... Have you driven one? You know what? It's a fabulous car. You've driven one. It's a brilliant car. It really, honestly is.
This week we are trying to find out which of the new breed of hybrid hypercars is the best.
Yes, on day one at the track in Portugal, we established that the McLaren P1 is a mentalist, that the Porsche 918 is very good milk float, and that the Ferrari can do nothing at all.
Some of that is true. But now, day two.
We began by lining up the three most exciting cars on the planet for the drag race of all drag races. Naturally, this meant engaging launch control, which in the McLaren takes about a fortnight. I have to have the drivetrain in track mode, the aero package in sport mode so that the rear end squats when I set off and gives me more traction. I have to have the DRS button pressed with my thumb to keep the rear wing open, which reduces drag, obviously.
Launch control in the Porsche, left foot on the brake, hard, right foot on the throttle, hard, light goes green, left foot off brake, ping!
Launch button pressed for 2 seconds, left foot on brake, right foot on throttle.
Press launch control, mash the throttle, within 4 seconds, release the brake.
3 seconds later, I have full boost, and I have to set off then within 3 seconds or the entire system disengages.
I'm going to get this wrong, just so you know. I've got a lot to do in here.
3, 2, 1, away! It is tremendous.
With that sorted, it was time to bring in a racing driver to see which of our cars could do the fastest lap. Our resident American said he wasn't interested because all three cars are probably communist. So instead, we went for a Belgian chap who's done Formula One and Formula E, Jerome D'Ambrosio. Jerome took the cars out to get a sense of how they handled. And when he'd finished, we were interested to hear his professional opinion.
La McLaren, une voiture, je pense peut-être la plus difficile à piloter. Très facile de faire une erreur, c'est vraiment une voiture de grand garçon, il faut faire attention et donc pas facile de faire un tour. Je pense qu'elle est un peu moins efficace.
At this point, word reached us that Jeremy was taking liberties with the subtitling machine.
Donc c'est...
So we moved on to the big event, the timed laps. Once the mechanics had finished their preparations, the 3 speed traps were activated. And the Ferrari took its place on the start line.
Look how good it looks there.
James, you want to go and get a cup of tea?
Well, we've warmed the track.
Start line.
Look how good it looks there.
James, you want to go and get a cup of tea?
Well, we've warmed the track.
Next, it was the turn of the Porsche 918.
How much faster will it go because of the stripes, do you think?
Much.
Finally, it was the turn of the psycho killer, the trickiest, the edgiest of the three. But I was so confident it'd win, I was prepared to take a massive gamble. If the McLaren isn't the fastest, you two can knock my house down.
What?
Knock it down.
What, your house?
Yeah, and I mean that. That's how confident I am that that will be the fastest.
That's you know we will do that.
Yep.
It's a serious bet.
Yeah.
Fine.
If that's not the fastest, we can knock your house down.
Yep. You know where it is. You've both been.
Yeah, I'd love to knock it down.
Here we go. A lot riding on this. With that, back to the tent. Thank you so much. Now, I want to make it absolutely plain, because I know this matters to anoraks. All three cars were running on exactly the same sort of tyres.
Yes, same tyres, same track, same driver. So the times are down to the cars.
Yeah.
Yep, and now it is time to reveal those times. And let me just make it absolutely clear. We don't know what they are. The producers have kept them from us. They're top secret. So let's put the scoreboard up and let's begin with the Ferrari, I believe. Let's see what it did it in, please. 154.4. We don't know if that's any good, do we? But
well, let's move on and do the Porsche next. Let's have a look. What did the Porsche do it in? And it didn't mince it, it was slower than the Porsche. I told you, it's just a melon ball. It's slower than my car, which was faster than your car.
Yeah, it's 0.2 of a second, and it looks better.
Yeah, it did. In my mirror, where it belongs, get it smaller. It's a melon ball, and it lost.
Hammond,
what?
Calm down.
All right.
Because now we must bring up the time that really matters. The one where a lot's at stake. The McLaren, the McLaren P1.
Are you nervous?
No.
Sure?
No.
A little bit?
No, I'm not nervous.
Why be nervous? Because you could get like a shopping trolley and keep all your things in it, move it around, make some new friends under a bridge somewhere.
Hammond.
I'd say sell your body. Don't do that.
Be quiet. Let's bring up the time of the P1. Here we go.
Oh, God.
Where is it?
Because you said the fastest, but it's not the fastest, it's the slowest.
Yeah. And on that terrible disappointment, I'm afraid it's time to end. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week in Johannesburg. Goodbye! This is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Jesus. This is frightening. That's what it is. Jesus. This recalibrates your mind. I didn't...
Let's do this.
Well?
This is rubbish.
Get out of the way.
I am here because, gentlemen, I have in the back of that lorry.
Here we go!
Or indeed any sort of thing, gave me a fizz like the Ferrari, the Ferrari. This, I believe, will absolutely mince the other two. Oh, man!
James was obviously talking nonsense, but there's no getting around the fact that these three cars take automotive science to a new level. They use the latest green technology to squeeze as much speed as possible from every molecule of fuel. As a result, they're all capable of blasting way past 200 miles an hour whilst producing fewer harmful emissions.
Honestly, I don't know.
Thank you very much, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to our permanent new home here in the green heart of England land.
Oh, yeah.
Can I just say, it's not so much green as inconvenient.
Why is it inconvenient?
Well, Jeremy, how would you like to tell the ladies and gentlemen why you decided to put our tent precisely here?
Ah, it is exactly here because this spot is exactly halfway between May's house and Hammond's house. So there is no squabbling over who had the longest commute.
Yes, but your house is just over there. I could see it. Just there.
I haven't got a house. You may remember you blew it up.
Oh, all right, your backup house.
Yeah, your spare house is just there.
Let's not get bogged down with whose house is the nearest.
It's yours. Definitely yours. Is that your cat?
The point is...
Oh, hang on, Jezza, you've got a parcel.
No, I can tell there's a man
point
putting
is-
one of those I can't be asked to ring the doorbell cards through the letterbox.
The tent is located here, yes, but this is still very much the Grand Tour. The globe is still our playground, as you will see from this short clip of what's coming up over the next 11 weeks.
Okay, it's time now, and nobody's ever said this on a car show before. Save the world.
Morning, shoppers.
Oh, my giddy aunt. Holy shit.
Here they come.
Oh, here we go again.
Get out of the way, get out of the way, I'm in a race.
Extending fuel nozzle.
We are pumping gas! Have we got to drive up there?
Fire service is now available in your area.
I'm better than him.
Hello.
You're gonna have to work a bit harder, Jaguar!
We've been busy. We have been very busy. Anyway, that is all to come. This, however, is now, and we have an important job to do, an important question to answer. Which is better, the past, the present, or the future? By which I mean, which is better, petrol power, hybrid power, or electrical power?
Now, to do this, we are going to use the Lamborghini Aventador S, which has a petrol engine and is therefore from the pages of ancient history. And that will be driven by our resident Neanderthal. Representing the present day, we have the Honda NSX, which is a modern hybrid, and that obviously will be driven by somebody crisp and contemporary. Me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I shall be driving something from the future, an all-electric supercar from Croatia.
Know how that ends.
Yeah. Yeah. And while we're on... And while we are on the subject of me, I decided to take charge of where we would do this test. I'm tired of these two picking places that I don't like or understand, which is why this week the Grand Tour is off to Switzerland.
Well, here it is, the Rimac Concept 1. The world's first electric supercar. Go! Oh, just that. This is dangerous because of you. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh, for God's sake! It's amazing. At least it was until they turned up. Listen to that.
Look, everything was better in the past. Christopher Wren was a better architect than those numpties you see on Grand Designs. Bob Seger could belt out a better tune than Justin Bieber. And this Lamborghini is better than Hammond's Lady Shaver. Just is, in every way.
The present is best. Everything in the world now is better than it was a minute ago. And everything in the world now is better than it's going to be in another minute, because we don't know what that is yet. It might be the nuclear holocaust. Humankind can only live in the present, and that's why you need a Honda NSX,
Full throttle.
NSX is by far the cleverest of the three cars here because of its dual powertrain.
It has the dependability, the availability of fossil fuels, and the magic and helpfulness, if you like, of electricity. It's a hybrid, and it really is rather brilliant.
They probably think this is some sort of Eastern European electric milk float in a supercar suit. Well, they're wrong. Very wrong.
Oh, here we go. slightly alarmed.
Go, go! Oh, for God's sake!
I can see that, and I know it's very fast. But
we're off.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Come on, this is it!
I know the rim action is very pretty, I can see that. And I know it's very...
Oh God! Oh my God! Oh dear God! Oh! Oh, for God's sake!
I know the rim action is very pretty, I can see that. And I know it's very...
Go! Oh God!
I know the rim action is very pretty, I can see that. And I know it's very fast. But I also know it can't do this. I know it looks like the three of us are just clowning around in some supercars on a lovely, lovely day on a beautiful bit of road. But this is important work. It is. It is.
What is wrong with you? We're off. Here we go. Hello, mate. Oh, hello.
Jaws! Dog!
Oh no. That is just the best.
Say hello to my little friend. Oh, God.
Oh my word!
And to prove its important work, we decided to pull over and start acting like important car journalists.
You may mock the idea of a Croatian supercar, but Rimac is already working with Koenigsegg and Aston Martin on their battery tech. It's a serious company, so serious that they make nearly every bit of this car themselves. Sat-nav, switchgear, headlamps, all in-house.
Apart from the leather, if you go for that, which is Bulgarian.
Oh, I love Bulgarian leather.
It's my favourite. But anyway, the reason I like the Aventador most is because it defines the supercar. It wasn't designed to do 1 billion round Brands Hatch. It was designed to do 9 on Knightsbridge. It was designed to make people go, wow, and it does. If you want to go fast, buy a Ferrari.
Or a Rimac.
And that's for shaving your legs, if you're a lady.
I love the Lamborghini as well, the styling especially, it's fantastic, but you know that the sort of time and thought that Lamborghini put into that, Honda put into things that they thought were important, like making a new type of steel section for that pillar so it can be smaller, so you can see out better, 10 radiators to cool the drivetrain, and lots of other stuff that make modern technology simple to use.
I just don't like it.
Well, how is that relevant? I'm talking about it, and I
don't
like it.
So you're wrong. I wanted to like it, but I don't.
You're redundant.
I didn't like. I really wanted to like it. I've been 10 years looking forward to it. I wanted to like it. I got in it. I didn't like it.
But it doesn't matter because I do.
You are
no,
wrong.
I'm not wrong. I do.
Eventually, we stopped arguing and set off. Sadly, however, things took a turn for the worse when we arrived at the hotel that Hammond had booked.
What?
Hammond, what is a wellness retreat?
One of these.
More specifically, hang on, it said Swiss Natural Detox.
Yes.
What is that?
It's handy for where we need to be.
Can we get a drink here?
No.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Do you realise that could result in your death?
Could.
Yes.
Sorry. Will? What are you thinking of? Why?
What? It's convenient. It's near many things.
Well,
I
it's
want
the
to be
only
near.
hotel.
Do they do colonic here?
Yes.
Would you like to know what colonic feels like?
The new electric version.
Do they
It's very
really do
modern.
colonic here?
You might feel better for it.
I won't feel better
You'll
for
thank
it.
me for it in a bit.
Would you like a glass of water, James, and some kale?
Oh, yes, that's what I always have for supper.
Over dinner that night, the... How long are we here for?
4 days.
4 days?
I've got a lot of things planned.
Yeah, but we're going to starve to death, Hammond.
No, you won't. Listen, what this is tough love. Well, not love for you two, but it's what you need. It's tougher hate than usual is what I'm giving you. I'm taking you in hand and for both of your sakes, turning you around, turning over a new leaf. I actually think James is looking better already. Look at him. He's got a healthy glow.
He isn't looking better, he's looking angrier.
You're going to look a lot worse in a minute. I can guarantee that.
Look at the view. Look at that. Look at that.
You can't eat that.
Our first outing was to a museum in the nearby city of Lucerne.
Stop, abort. Go! Good!
Oh, no.
Clarkson, you moron.
Over dinner, the mood was even darker. And the following day it didn't improve, because Hammond made us go on exactly the same route as he had the day before. And after Hammond had plugged his car into the same charging point, we went off to look at that day's underwhelming attraction, the Museum of Chess.
Boom! I win!
He doesn't even know how to play, does he? And then the penny dropped.
Hammond, what are we doing tomorrow?
Going to a pencil museum.
Is the Pencil Museum in the same town as this museum?
Yes.
Do you keep bringing us to this town because it's the only one within 100 miles of our wellness centre where there is a fast charging point for your car?
Yes.
So, that night, after another plate of weeds, James and I sacked Hammond as team leader and came up with our own schedule. Right, we found an airfield and now we're going to have a drag race, which is a lot more interesting than going to a museum.
I thought he'd like museums. I mean, he's driving one.
Track, check. Traction, yes.
I put it in launch, which sets the rear two engines in the first of their two gears. The front two engines only have one gear. I do not know how that works. Why doesn't the car stretch or overtake itself?
The simple fact of the matter is that because this car has no electrical gubbins, it is, despite appearances, the lightest car here. And it has 730 horsepower. So allow me, please, to demonstrate that you can't beat old-time rock and roll. Thrust mode.
3, 2, 1. Go, go, go.
That Rimac just off.
If that is the future, I am so ready. Oh! Oh!
I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything move as quickly as that. Not with number plates. Annoyed that my dinosaur had been humiliated, I decided to show Hammond that it still has enough power to kickstart a dying star. Yes! That's what Lamborghinis are all about.
Oh, my word.
That's what Lamborghinis are all about.
Oh, my word.
Sitrep, the entire tyre has been consumed by the heart of the monster.
It has.
Do you know the thing was? The tyre pressure warning light came on.
What could that have meant?
Well, it meant that on this, it was specifically telling me there was a problem with this tyre. So I ignored it.
Yes. It's a good job you're not an airline pilot.
Yes. However, we'll get it fixed, and then, actually, we've got to find a track. And then I will be able to thrash you. What do you know?
You won't find a track in Switzerland, will you? Because motor racing is banned.
What do you mean banned?
No, it is. 1955, there was an accident in France at Le Mans. The Swiss banned motorsport. It's still banned today.
We can think of something else. Something that requires 4 tyres.
Oh, God, I tell you what, though, it does mean another night in his hotel.
And you're going to drive there on a space saver.
No, I know something we can do.
What?
There's plenty to occupy us at the hotel.
Well,
Come on.
Not supper. That
It
only
may take a
occupies you
while,
for-
because I'm going on a bicycle.
Oh, Jesus! The thing that they banned was that because in the famous Le Mans crash, cars crashed into each other and into the ground, but that can't happen in a hill climb, so would they allow stuff against the clock?
I don't know, because I've got a tube up my arse.
Come on, think, Clarkson.
I think you can do hill climbing in Switzerland, but I don't know for sure, because I've got a tube up my arse.
Right. Okay, but that's a start. Let's see if we can find out. Ouch! Ah!
After a bit of digging around, James discovered there was a Swiss hill climb event on that weekend. And it was only 200 miles from our hotel. Which was fine, for some of us. At this speed, 6 of my 12 cylinders are shut down. They're not using any fuel at all, so I could probably do 400 miles on the fuel I have. Just check on James. James, are you able to make the hill climb event 200 miles away?
Let me just have a look. Yes, I am.
Well, how do you know with that fuel gauge?
I can't be bothered.
It's not straight, is it? Admit it.
Happy piling the motorway miles on your precious cars, are you? Good.
Why is there somebody talking to us from a van, James?
It's a lorry.
Hey, Hammond, I don't know where you are, but there's a really remarkable-looking futuristic car on the back of a truck. Must just be a mock-up, I suppose, otherwise it would be being driven.
Yeah, you pile the miles on, enjoy yourself.
After leaving the van driver far behind, James and I arrived at what's almost certainly the most beautiful hill climb event in the world.
What? All good for you.
Oh, yeah. It's the van driver.
Well, he won't have the energy to drive up the hill.
What?
He won't have the energy to drive up the hill.
Here I am, car rested, ready and fully charged.
Breakfast, actual food, brown food.
Yeah. Well, professional racers do carb load, don't they, before races?
Right,
So you're sort of going...
like all athletes, carb load.
Yeah,
They don't lettuce load.
As I walked over, I saw you two and thought, athletes.
Shut up, Hammond.
With the practice session complete, it was time to go against the clock. And for me, this was a problem. Because the rules said that in timed runs, I had to wear a helmet. No. No. Right, well, I can either drive like this with a helmet on, or... what the hell are we going to do? It was time to break out my genius. Lamborghini's got one of their test drivers here. He's about this big. What's your name?
Giacomo.
Giacomo.
Giacomo is the Italian name.
Giacomo.
Giacomo.
Whatever. Don't worry, you look exactly like me. I'll tilt that camera down, it'll make you look taller. Be fine with a crash helmet on. Yep. Curly hair, same as me. But you've got to sound like me.
Correct.
So, Hammond, you idiot. Say that. Hammond, you idiot.
Hammond, you idiot.
You idiot.
You idiot.
Exactly, because he always is an idiot, so you can always drop that in. It's a useful phrase.
Hammond,
the other one is, this is the fastest car, pause, in the world.
This is fastest car, pause, in the world.
Say it.
This is the fastest car, pause, in the world.
With all that sorted out, James took his place on the start line.
This is the big one. Sorry I didn't say anything, that was my concentrated face. That's the most I've concentrated for 5 years.
Then it was my turn. Astonishing time on the score sheet, Hammond had it all to do, and we decided to give him some encouragement. Hammond?
Yeah?
Really, really big crowds here today, as you can see.
Yeah.
Okay? Because they know you're going to break the record here.
Well,
54 seconds.
54?
Well, come on, you're at 1,200 horsepower, you've been practising all morning.
Yeah, actually, it is the most powerful car here by some margin.
Well, I can't promise
It's the fastest car
win.
I've ever seen. Look at it this way. The whole of Croatia is watching this, knowing that you're going to do it for them.
In 52 seconds' time, you're going to be whatever the equivalent of a hero of the Soviet Union is, but in modern-day Croatia. They'll have a name
not
for
just
it.
Croatia,
But
it's
no,
the whole
spreading out.
Eastern European region.
Yeah.
You have got a lot riding on your shoulders, Richard Hammond. A lot.
You will be on a coin.
Thank you,
His
guys.
face will be on a coin.
Or a stamp.
Oh, I'm quite nervous. I'm suddenly nervous. Okay, here we go. Give me your best shot, Rich. Yeah. Watch this. Go! I'm quite nervous. Oh, I'm slightly alarmed. Oh, God. Come on, keep going. Come on, this is it. Oh! Oh, no. Oh, my God. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, here we go. Give me your best shot, Rich. Yeah. Watch this. Go!
I'm quite nervous.
Oh, here we go, here we go. Watch this. Come on, keep going. Come on, this is it. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. Give me your best shot, Rich. Yeah. Watch this. Go!
I'm quite nervous.
Plenty of power. This is good. Come on, keep going. Come on, this is it. Oh my God. Oh.
I crashed!
Right, I have the times here. Are you ready? Representing the present day. The Honda NSX did it in 1:20.4. Okay? Representing the past, the Lamborghini Aventador did it in 1 minute 10.4. And this is the big one, representing the future. The Rimac did it in 1 minute 14.7.
Yes! I'm the winner. I am victorious.
Wait a minute.
The past.
You weren't even driving the bloody car.
Well, you were driving your car and you crashed it.
Yes, but I crashed after the finishing line, like a professional.
Hammond, when was the last time you went home after work not in an air ambulance?
When was the last time you took your own clothes off at night rather than have a paramedic cut them off in a field?
Now, hang on a minute.
You crashed after the finishing line, so our cameras weren't there. We had to get that clip from YouTube. That is not professional. That is selfish.
Look, I just don't know how it happened.
We do. We know exactly how it happened. History has taught us you can't drive in a straight line. And now we've seen you can't drive around a corner either.
Do you know what's a really remarkable thing about that crash?
What?
That car continued to catch fire 5 days after it happened.
What? Bursting into...
Yeah, spontaneously bursting into flames. And the reason is the accident damaged one of the cells in the lithium-ion battery. That causes a short circuit, it catches fire. But then that damages the next cell, so that one catches fire, and so it goes on. There are 8,000 cells in that thing.
So it's like a chain reaction. What do they call it?
Yeah, chain reaction. It's called thermal runaways. Bang, 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 and so it goes on.
I was all right. I mean, it's relevant. OK.
We don't care in any way. It's time to end the programme with a conclusion to our very thorough test. And it's this. The future is very fast and extremely quiet, but a bit burny. And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye!
Honestly, I don't know.
Is that the size of the drop or what's happening?